The salt air stung his eyes as he looked out over the churning sea. The air was thick with the scent of brine, a sharp tang that seemed to cut through the very fabric of the moment. Waves crashed against the boat, spitting salt spray at the man and the little girl struggling in the water. The boat rocked violently, each wave a reminder of the storm's fury. She cried, her tiny hands flailing in the tumultuous sea. Her voice was almost drowned out by the howling wind and the relentless roar of the ocean. He could feel the weight of his decision pressing down on him, but there was no turning back now. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing the turmoil around him. Her name was Lily. 5 years old, with eyes like the sky used to be before the clouds came. Those eyes, now wide with fear, were a stark contrast to the dark, angry sea. She thought they were playing a game, coming to the boat. Her innocent laughter had once filled the air, a sound now replaced by the storm's relentless assault. He had carried her on his shoulders, her laughter music to his ears. Now that music was a haunting memory, drowned out by the chaos around them. They had shared countless moments of joy, from playing in the park to bedtime stories. Each memory was a precious gem, now tainted by the storm's fury. He had taught her to ride a bike, her determination and laughter echoing in his mind. Those days seemed so distant now, swallowed by the present chaos. Now the music was gone, replaced by the roar of the sea and the silent scream in his soul. The tension in the air was palpable, a heavy weight that seemed to press down on everything. The wind whipped her hair across his face. It smelled of sunshine and innocence, a scent that tore at him. Each gust was a cruel reminder of the life they once had. They had spent countless days at the beach, building sandcastles and chasing waves. Those moments were now bittersweet memories, overshadowed by the storm. The storm was coming, and with it, a reckoning. Everything about her was a painful reminder of what he had lost, of what he was about to do. The air crackled with tension, the storm's approach a harbinger of the inevitable. He remembered the first time she called him Daddy, her voice a sweet melody that had filled his heart with joy. That word now echoed in his mind, a haunting reminder of the bond they shared. They had baked cookies together, flour covering their faces as they laughed and made a mess. Those simple moments of happiness seemed like a lifetime ago, now overshadowed by the storm's wrath. Bedtime stories had been their special time, her eyes wide with wonder as he spun tales of adventure and magic. Now those stories were distant echoes, lost in the storm's fury. They had ridden roller coasters together, her squeals of delight filling the air. The thrill of those moments was now replaced by the terror of the present, a stark contrast to the joy they once knew. Visits to the zoo had been their favorite, her eyes lighting up at the sight of the animals. Those visits were now memories, overshadowed by the storm's relentless assault. Picnics in the park, with the sun shining down and laughter in the air, were now bittersweet memories. The storm had taken away the light, leaving only darkness and fear. As the storm raged on, he held her close, the weight of his decision pressing down on him. The air was thick with tension, each moment a reminder of the inevitable reckoning that was to come. He wasn't a bad man, not entirely. He had his flaws like everyone else, but deep down, he had a good heart. He had loved his wife, loved Lily, with a passion that was pure and unwavering. They were his world, his reason for everything. But the world had a way of grinding down hope, of replacing it with despair. The pressures of life, the relentless march of time, had worn him down. His business had crumbled, his wife had left, and he was left with nothing but debts and a crushing sense of failure. The weight of his mistakes bore down on him, suffocating him. He had considered ending it all, just walking into the sea and letting it swallow him whole. The thought of escape was tempting, a way to end the pain. But then he looked at Lily, her eyes wide and trusting, and he knew he couldn't leave her alone in this world, a world that had already taken so much. She was his anchor, his reason to keep going. A shadow fell over his heart as he remembered the promise he had made. The waves crashed against the shore, echoing the turmoil within him. He had to do this, for her sake and for his own. He told himself she would be better off, that she deserved a life free from his burdens. But deep down, he knew it wasn't true. But even as he formed the words in his mind, he knew they were lies. The truth was, he couldn't bear the thought of her growing up without him, of forgetting him. The bond they shared was too strong. The truth was, he couldn't bear the thought of her growing up without him, of forgetting him. He wanted to be there for her, to see her grow and thrive. He wanted to take her with him, to keep her safe in his own twisted way. But he knew that wasn't the answer. He had to find a way to keep going, for her sake. The shadow over his heart was not just about his failures, but also about the memories of happier times. He reflected on the days when laughter filled their home, when dreams seemed within reach. He remembered the promises he made to his wife, the dreams they had for Lily. The weight of those broken promises added to his torment, making the shadow over his heart even darker. He knew he had to confront these shadows, to face the pain and find a way to move forward. For Lily, and for the memory of the love that once filled his life. The shadow over his heart was a constant reminder of his failures, his regrets, and the love he had lost. It was a heavy burden, one that he carried with him every day. He felt trapped, suffocated by the weight of his own emotions. The guilt, the shame, the sorrow, it all consumed him, leaving him feeling hollow and broken. But amidst the darkness, there was a glimmer of hope. He knew that he had to find a way to overcome the shadows, to rise above the pain and find a path forward. For Lily, and for himself, he had to keep going. The shadow over his heart was a part of him, but it didn't have to define him. He could find a way to heal, to rebuild, and to create a better future for them both. He began to write down his thoughts, pouring his heart onto the pages. It was a small step, but it was a start. He wrote about his dreams for Lily, about the life he wanted to build for her. He spent more time with Lily, cherishing every moment. They read books together, laughed together, and for a while the shadows seemed to lift. He sought help, talking to a therapist about his struggles. It wasn't easy, but he knew it was necessary. He needed to heal, for himself and for Lily. He started taking care of himself, both physically and mentally. He jogged in the park, meditated, and slowly he began to feel stronger. The bond between him and Lily grew stronger. They played at the beach, built sandcastles, and created new memories. The shadows were still there, but they were no longer overwhelming. As they watched the sunset together, he felt a sense of peace. The journey was far from over, but he knew he was on the right path. For Lily and for himself, he would keep going. The shadow over his heart was a part of his story, but it didn't have to be the end. He picked her up, his heart a lead weight in his chest. The sky was overcast, mirroring the storm brewing within him. "I love you," he whispered, his voice lost in the wind. The words felt hollow, a desperate attempt to cling to something pure. She giggled, oblivious to the darkness in his eyes, and kissed his cheek. Her innocence was a stark contrast to the turmoil he felt. "I love you too, Daddy." Her words were like a dagger to his heart, twisting with every beat. And then he did the unthinkable. His mind was a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, but his body moved with a terrifying certainty. He hurled her away from him, towards the churning abyss. The act was both swift and agonizingly slow, each second stretching into eternity. With a tiny splash, she disappeared beneath the waves. The sound was barely audible, a mere whisper against the roaring silence. The sea swallowed her whole, leaving no trace of her existence. The silence was deafening, broken only by the pounding of his heart. He stood frozen, unable to move. The echoes of her laughter seemed to mock him, a cruel reminder of what he had lost. The weight of his actions pressed down on him, the reality sinking in. He had killed his own daughter. The enormity of his deed was suffocating, each breath a struggle. The sea seemed to mock him, its gentle waves a stark contrast to the turmoil within him. The water was calm, indifferent to the tragedy that had just unfolded. He collapsed to his knees, the enormity of his deed crashing over him like the relentless waves. His sobs were lost to the wind, a silent testament to his despair. Tears streamed down his face, mingling with the salty spray of the sea. He was a broken man, shattered by his own hand. He stared out at the horizon, the endless expanse of water offering no solace. The future seemed as bleak and empty as the sea before him. Lily tumbled through the air. For a moment there was only fear, the cold shock of the air, the dizzying spin. Then she hit the water. It was icy cold, closing over her head like a fist. She struggled, her small limbs flailing, but the heavy clothes dragged her down. Salt water stung her eyes, filled her mouth, stole her breath. Down, down she sank, into the green darkness. Shapes moved around her, strange and indistinct. Fear became panic, and then a strange peace settled over her. She closed her eyes, waiting for the end. But the end did not come. Instead, a light flickered in the distance. It was faint, but it was there. She watched, transfixed, as it grew brighter, cutting through the darkness like a beacon of hope. Curiosity warred with her fear, and slowly she reached out towards the light. The light revealed an ethereal landscape with glowing plants and mysterious creatures that seemed to dance in the water. Bioluminescent plants swayed gently, casting a soft, inviting glow. Strange, graceful creatures moved through the water, their forms both alien and beautiful. Lily's eyes widened with wonder as the light illuminated her surroundings, revealing a world she had never imagined. She reached out, her fingers brushing against a glowing plant, feeling its warmth and gentle pulse. The light grew brighter, enveloping her, and she felt a sense of being embraced, of being welcomed. For the first time since she had fallen, she felt safe, at peace, as if the light was protecting her. The light seemed to guide her, leading her upwards, towards the surface, towards hope. As she got closer, she saw that the light came from a glowing orb, pulsating with a gentle rhythm. Surrounding the orb were smaller lights, creating a constellation-like effect that filled her with awe. She reached out, her fingers almost touching the orb, feeling a sense of connection and wonder. The orb emitted a warm glow, enveloping her in light, making her feel safe and protected. She looked around, her eyes filled with curiosity and wonder, taking in the beauty of the underwater world. The light continued to guide her, leading her upwards, towards the surface, towards hope. As she ascended, a glowing fish swam by, and she reached out, her fingers brushing against its shimmering scales. The fish swam around her, creating a trail of light, and for a moment she felt a sense of playful joy. She looked up, seeing the light filtering through the water, and felt a renewed sense of hope. Determination filled her eyes as she continued to follow the light, feeling a sense of resolve. The light grew brighter as she ascended, and she knew she was nearing the surface. Finally, she broke through the surface, gasping for air, feeling a profound sense of relief. She looked around at the open sea, feeling a sense of freedom and endless possibility. A smile spread across her face as she felt the warmth of the sun, knowing this was a new beginning. The light enveloped him, warm and gentle, like a comforting embrace from an old friend. It wasn't like any light he had ever seen before. It shimmered with an ethereal quality, almost as if it were alive. It pulsed with a life of its own, and within it he heard voices. They were faint, almost imperceptible, but undeniably there. They were soft at first, like whispers on the wind, barely audible yet persistent. Then they grew stronger, clearer, as if the light itself was trying to communicate with him. They spoke of forgiveness and redemption, weaving a tapestry of emotions that tugged at his heart. They spoke of his daughter, her despair, her broken heart, and the sorrow that had consumed her. They told him stories of the sea, of ancient mariners and forgotten legends, of the creatures that lived in its depths, unseen by human eyes, yet full of life and mystery, of the secrets it held, secrets that had been buried for centuries, waiting to be discovered. They told him of the delicate balance of life and death, of the fragile thread that connects all living things, of the ebb and flow of all things, the natural cycles that govern the world. And then they showed him a vision, a glimpse into a past he had never known. He saw himself on the clifftop, standing tall yet burdened by unseen weights. His face contorted in anguish, a silent scream etched into his features. He saw the tears streaming down his face, each drop a testament to his inner turmoil, heard his cries of regret, echoing through the void, a haunting melody of sorrow. He saw the love buried deep within him, a love that had been overshadowed by years of pain, buried under layers of pain and despair, waiting to be unearthed and healed. He closed his eyes, letting the words wash over him, carried on the currents of the sea. The whispers were gentle, like the caress of a summer breeze, soothing his troubled soul. They brought a sense of peace, a quiet solace that he had not felt in years. The mystical nature of the whispers danced around him, filling the air with a serene melody, and as he listened, he felt a spark of hope ignite within him, a hope that perhaps redemption was possible. The whispers painted pictures of the underwater world, serene and mystical, where life moved in gentle harmony. They spoke of bioluminescent creatures glowing softly in the dark depths, illuminating the mysteries of the ocean, of vibrant coral reefs teeming with life, each creature playing its part in the delicate balance of the sea. The gentle currents carried the whispers, weaving through the water like a soft, melodic song. He let the whispers wash over him, feeling a deep sense of connection to the mystical world beneath the waves. The whispers spoke of unity, of the bond between father and daughter, a connection that transcended time and space. He envisioned them walking along the shore, hand in hand, the waves gently lapping at their feet. He saw their laughter, heard their joy, moments of pure happiness that had been lost to the sands of time. He felt the warmth of their embrace, a hug that spoke of forgiveness and a love that could heal all wounds. As he looked out at the horizon, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, a determination to mend what had been broken. The whispers promised reconciliation, a chance to rebuild the bond that had been shattered. They envisioned a journey together, sailing on calm seas, navigating the waters of life with newfound understanding. They spoke of sharing stories, of deep conversations that would bridge the gap between their hearts. And as the sun set, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, they found solace in each other's presence. Their smiles spoke of contentment, of a peace that came from knowing they were no longer alone. Together they faced the future, hopeful and united, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. The whispers faded, leaving behind a promise of a new beginning, a journey they would embark on together. The sea, calm and serene under the moonlight, mirrored the tranquility in their hearts. Under the stars they found peace, a silent understanding that spoke louder than words. And as they drifted into a restful sleep, the whispers of the sea lulled them into dreams of a brighter tomorrow. He stood at the edge of the abyss, his heart a hollow shell, consumed by an unbearable sorrow. The weight of his actions pressed down on him, suffocating him with guilt. The waves crashed around him, mocking his grief with their indifference, each crash a reminder of his failure. The sea's relentless fury mirrored the turmoil within him. He had destroyed everything, shattered the one good thing left in his life, and now he was left with nothing but regret. His soul ached with the loss, a pain that seemed to have no end. He raised his eyes to the sky, a sky the color of ash and despair, as if the heavens themselves mourned with him. The dark clouds mirrored the darkness in his heart. His plea echoed through the storm. "Lily, come back!" he called out, his voice raw with pain, each word heavy with the weight of his guilt. The storm seemed to swallow his cries, leaving him feeling even more alone. "Forgive me, Lily, forgive me," he whispered, his voice breaking, the words a desperate prayer to the void. His hands clasped together, trembling with the intensity of his plea. The wind howled in response, but he refused to give up, his resolve as unyielding as the storm. He closed his eyes, feeling the wind whip around him, a reminder of the chaos he had caused. He took a step forward, his foot leaving the safety of the cliff, the abyss calling to him. The void seemed to promise an end to his suffering, but before he could complete the step, a hand grabbed his arm, pulling him back from the edge, a lifeline in the storm. The touch was firm, yet gentle, a stark contrast to the violence of the storm. He opened his eyes, stunned, disbelieving. He would not leave until he had found her, his heart clinging to the hope of redemption. The shock of the moment gave way to a renewed determination, a flicker of hope in the darkness. He gazed out at the horizon, the storm still raging, but his heart now held a spark of resolve. He knew he had to find her, to make amends for his mistakes. With a deep breath, he turned away from the cliff, his steps purposeful and steady. The journey ahead would be long and arduous, but he was ready to face it. He pulled out a photograph from his pocket, a picture of Lily, her smile a beacon of hope. He clutched it tightly, a reminder of what he was fighting for. The storm raged on, but he walked through it undeterred. Each step forward was a step towards redemption, towards finding Lily and making things right. His determination was unwavering, his spirit unbroken. He would not rest until he had found her, until he had made amends for the pain he had caused. He looked up at the sky once more, the dark clouds beginning to part, revealing a glimmer of light. It was a sign, a promise of better days to come. With renewed hope, he continued his journey, disappearing into the horizon. The path ahead was uncertain, but he was ready to face whatever came his way. driven by the hope of finding Lily and the promise of redemption. The ocean's embrace was cold, but it was also comforting, like a gentle reminder of life's endless possibilities. He waded into the water, feeling the waves lap against his legs, each step filled with hope and determination. The salt water stung his skin, but it also invigorated him, awakening a deep sense of resilience. The vast, serene sea mirrored his heart, filled with a newfound sense of purpose. It was as if the ocean itself was whispering secrets of strength and courage to him. He knew she was out there, somewhere, and the thought filled him with an uplifting sense of hope. The horizon seemed to stretch endlessly, a symbol of the boundless opportunities that lay ahead. She had been given a second chance, and in doing so, she had given him one too, filling his heart with gratitude and love. Their bond had grown stronger, forged by the trials they had faced together. The rhythmic sound of the waves was like a soothing lullaby, whispering promises of new beginnings and endless horizons. Each wave seemed to carry away the past, leaving behind a clean slate. As he stood there, arms outstretched, he felt a profound connection to the ocean, as if it were a bridge to a brighter future. The water's cool touch was a reminder of the challenges they had overcome. The setting sun cast a golden glow over the water, illuminating the path ahead with a warm, hopeful light. It was a beacon of hope, guiding them towards a future filled with promise. Together they walked along the shore, hand in hand, ready to face whatever the future held, united by the ocean's embrace. Their footsteps left imprints in the sand, a testament to their journey and the strength they had found in each other. Their hands, intertwined, symbolized the unbreakable bond they shared, a bond that had been tested and had emerged stronger than ever. The endless horizon was a reminder that their journey was far from over, but with each other, they were ready to face whatever came next. Section 8. Dawn breaks, hope returns. Dawn broke over the horizon, bringing with it a glimmer of hope. The first light of day gently kissed the ocean, casting a serene glow over the calm waters. The storm had passed, and the sea was calm once more. The sky painted in hues of pink and gold, reflecting on the tranquil waters below. The air was crisp and fresh, filled with the promise of a new beginning. The serenity of the dawn was a stark contrast to the chaos of the night before. He took a deep breath, feeling a sense of peace wash over him. The warmth of the sun's first rays touched his face, filling him with a renewed sense of hope. The calm of the morning mirrored the tranquility in his heart, a heart that had been through so much turmoil. He tucked her into bed, watching as she drifted off to sleep, her chest rising and falling with the rhythm of her breath. The quiet of the dawn allowed him to reflect on the events of the night, the fear, the desperation, and the ultimate relief. He sat beside her for a long time, just listening, just being grateful. The stillness of the moment allowed him to reflect and find solace. He thought about the journey they had been through, the challenges they had faced, and the strength they had found in each other. The despair that had clouded his mind for so long began to lift, replaced by a glimmer of hope. The peaceful atmosphere of the morning brought clarity and a sense of renewal. The dawn was not just a new day, but a new chapter in his life. He had been given a second chance, a chance to be a better father, a better man. The dawn symbolized a new beginning, a fresh start. The serene beauty of the morning filled him with determination and hope for the future, and he vowed with every fiber of his being that he wouldn't waste it. The promise of a new day filled him with determination and hope for the future. The dawn had broken, and with it, hope had returned. He looked at a family photo, a reminder of what he was fighting for. The faces in the picture filled him with warmth and a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but he was ready to face it with courage and determination. As the morning light filled the room, he began to prepare breakfast, a simple act that felt monumental. Each movement was filled with intention, each step a testament to his resolve. The aroma of freshly cooked food filled the air, mingling with the promise of a new day. He gently woke his daughter, her sleepy eyes opening to the sight of her father's loving smile. She stretched and yawned, the innocence of her actions a stark contrast to the fear they had faced. Her smile was a beacon of hope, a sign that they had made it through the storm. They sat down to breakfast together, sharing a meal and a moment of peace. The bond between them had been strengthened by the trials they had faced, and the love they shared was a source of unending strength. The dawn had brought with it not just a new day, but a new beginning for both of them. Section 9. A changed man, a second chance. He kept his promise. He vowed to be a better man, a better father, and he was determined to make it happen. He found a job, a simple job that allowed him to provide for Lily. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work, and it gave him a sense of purpose he had long been missing. Each day, he poured his heart into his work, knowing that every effort was a step towards redemption. He spent his days making up for lost time, playing with her, reading to her, cherishing every moment. Every laugh, every smile, every shared story was a step towards healing. He realized that these moments were the true essence of life, far more valuable than any material possession. He learned to laugh again, to find joy in the simple things, the sound of her giggles, the warmth of her hugs. These were the treasures he had once overlooked. His heart swelled with a newfound appreciation for the little things that brought immense joy. He learned that happiness wasn't found in material possessions or worldly success, but in the love of a child, in the moments of connection and understanding that they shared. These moments were the foundation of his transformation, teaching him the true meaning of fulfillment. In the beauty of a sunrise, a reminder that each day was a new beginning, a fresh start. The serene mornings by the sea became a symbol of hope and renewal for him. In the sound of the waves crashing against the shore, a symphony of nature that spoke to his soul and brought him peace. The rhythmic ebb and flow of the ocean mirrored his journey of transformation, constant and unwavering. He never told anyone what had happened that day on the clifftop. It was a moment of profound change, a turning point that he kept close to his heart. It was a secret that fueled his determination to be a better man. It remained his secret, his burden to bear. But it was also a source of strength, a reminder of how far he had come. The weight of his past mistakes no longer held him back. Instead, it propelled him forward. But it was a burden that had lost its power over him. He had found a way to transform his pain into something beautiful, something meaningful. His journey was a testament to the power of resilience and the human spirit. For he knew that even in the darkest depths of despair, there was always hope. Hope that could light the way, even when the path seemed impossible to navigate. This hope was his guiding star, leading him towards a brighter future. And sometimes that hope came from the most unexpected of places. A child's smile, a sunrise, the sound of the ocean. These were the moments that reminded him of the beauty of life and the power of second chances. Each unexpected joy was a gift, a reminder of the wonders that life had to offer. He was a changed man, with a second chance at life. The sea had taught him many things, but most of all, it had taught him the value of forgiveness. He vowed to make the most of this new beginning, embracing every opportunity to grow and learn. His demeanor had transformed. There was a lightness in his step, a brightness in his smile that hadn't been there before. The joy he felt was palpable, radiating from him like the sun's warm rays. His transformation was evident to all who saw him. His heart, once heavy with regret, now felt light and free. The joy of being with his daughter, of seeing her happy, filled him with a sense of fulfillment he had never known. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, a testament to the power of love and forgiveness. He had found peace within himself, a serenity that came from knowing he was doing his best, from the love he shared with his daughter. This was his second chance, and he embraced it with all his heart. The serene nature of their surroundings mirrored the tranquility he felt within, a perfect harmony of inner and outer peace. They began new traditions together, like planting a tree in their backyard. Each sapling they nurtured symbolized their growing bond and the new life they were building together. Gardening became a shared passion, a way to connect with nature and each other. He taught her how to ride a bike, running alongside her, cheering her on with every wobble and fall. The joy in her eyes when she finally mastered it was a moment he would cherish forever. It was a testament to their journey, to the strength they found in each other. They spent weekends baking together, creating delicious treats and making a mess in the kitchen. The laughter and joy they shared during these moments were priceless, adding to the tapestry of memories they were weaving together. On clear nights, they would lie on the grass and stargaze, with him pointing out constellations and telling her stories of the stars. These quiet moments under the vast sky brought them closer, filling their hearts with wonder and dreams of the future. Their trips to the beach became more frequent, where they built sand castles and played in the waves. The ocean, once a place of turmoil, had become a sanctuary of joy and peace for them. Each visit was a reminder of how far they had come and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. Celebrations took on new meaning, with each birthday and holiday becoming a cherished event. They celebrated life, love, and the second chance they had been given. These moments of joy and togetherness were the highlights of their journey. They often looked through old family photos, reminiscing about the past and dreaming about the future. These moments of reflection and hope strengthened their bond, reminding them of the love that had always been there, waiting to be rediscovered. As they watched the sun set over the horizon, hand in hand, he felt a deep sense of gratitude. The journey had been long and arduous, but it had led them to a place of peace and happiness. The future was bright, filled with endless possibilities and the promise of new beginnings. Section 10. The Sea Remembers. As for him, he grew up strong and kind, with a deep love for the sea. He never forgot his experience, but it didn't haunt him. He knew the sea held both beauty and danger, and he respected its power. He became a marine biologist, dedicating his life to studying and protecting the ocean and its creatures. And every time he looked out at the vast expanse of water, he remembered the whispers from the deep, the warmth of the light, the love that had saved him. The sea, in turn, seemed to remember him. Whenever he was out on the water, the waves seemed to calm, the sun seemed to shine a little brighter. It was as if the ocean was watching over him, protecting him, just as he was protecting it. The bond between him and the sea was unbreakable, a connection forged in the depths of the ocean and nurtured by the gentle embrace of the waves. The sea's memory was long, and it held their story within its depths, a tale of love, respect, and an everlasting bond. The sea, in its gentle nature, remembered every moment, holding their story in its serene embrace. He often found solace beneath the waves, where the vibrant marine life reminded him of the interconnectedness of all things. The dolphins, in particular, seemed to recognize him, often swimming close, as if acknowledging their shared bond. In those quiet moments at dawn, he felt a profound connection to the ocean, a sense of peace that transcended words. He passed on his love for the sea to his child, teaching them to respect and cherish the ocean's gifts. Together, they walked the shores, collecting memories as precious as the seashells they found. And as the sun set on the horizon, they knew that the sea would always be a part of their story, a timeless bond that would endure through generations. Section 11. In the heart's depths, forgiveness blooms. The sea, they say, holds many secrets. It is a place of mystery and wonder, of beauty and terror. But perhaps the greatest secret the sea holds is not about the creatures that live within its depths, but about the depths of the human heart. Forgiveness is a journey, often beginning in the darkest moments of our lives. It is in the face of our greatest fears, in the depths of our despair, that we discover our true strength, our capacity for love, and our ability to forgive. The Father's journey to forgiveness was not easy. He faced his inner turmoil, his regrets, and his fears. But through this journey, he found peace. He learned that forgiveness is not just about letting go of the past, but about embracing the future with hope and love. In the quiet moments of reflection, the Father's heart began to heal. He realized that forgiveness was not a sign of weakness, but a testament to his strength and resilience. With each step he took towards forgiveness, he felt a weight lift from his shoulders, replaced by a sense of lightness and freedom. Together they look towards the future, knowing that they have the strength to face whatever comes their way. Their bond, once tested by the storm, is now stronger than ever, illuminated by the light of forgiveness and the promise of new beginnings. In the heart's depths, forgiveness blooms, bringing with it the promise of a brighter tomorrow. The sea, with its vastness and depth, mirrors the human experience. Just as the waves ebb and flow, so do our emotions and relationships. Each wave that crashes against the shore is a reminder that even the strongest storms pass, leaving behind a renewed sense of calm and clarity. The Father's story is a beacon of hope for all who struggle with forgiveness. It teaches us that no matter how deep the hurt, the heart has an incredible capacity to heal and to love again. As they sit by the fire, the warmth of their bond is palpable. They have weathered the storm together, And now they bask in the glow of their renewed relationship. In the heart's depths, forgiveness blooms, bringing with it the promise of a brighter tomorrow. And as the sun sets on one chapter, it rises on another, filled with endless possibilities and the enduring power of love.